Hey, yo, 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 what's up, what's up? What's up, people? Now, I want a simple question answered, alright? A very simple question. Do you want to see Kowalski? Should I try and set up Kowalski? Yes or no? What do you think? Should we just for a second see how it looks? Just in case. That's the only thing I need to know right now. Should I try set it up real quick and we give it a little peek? Yes? 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 Well, I don't know about this. Somebody said go furry. See, I never thought about it like that. Maybe we have to cancel it. You know, you're bringing a very valuable perspective to the table. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I should not be doing this. Now that you say that, you're bringing a very, very valid point. Yeah. I don't know. You shouldn't have said that. But yeah. All right. I try. I see if I can set it up real quick. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. And then that's it, right? I mean, we gotta do something for the stock to reset in 12 minutes. Am I right? So I try to see if we can set things up. So let's see. Oh yeah. Also, what are we thinking? What are you thinking? What goes up, what goes down? And will there be a new stock today? I mean, we had it twice in the news that something was supposed to go to the stellar market, but it didn't. So, what's going on? But yeah. Oh, also on a completely different note, what's going on? Huh? Epic 7. Oh, okay. Well, let's actually stay at 110 bubble pop. Nah, we see. So, on a completely side note, right? Do you believe that we're going to actually get an E7 collab? Like, there's some people that say, well, surely. And then there's some say that, nah, bro, it doesn't make sense. Me personally, I think it's only us giving them rather than them giving us, right? But I mean, if you think that's different, well, do let me know, right? How's it going, boss? Well, we're about to have some fun. Once again, I cannot guarantee nothing. Just currently looking at it. Okay, this is gonna be something. Okay. I think we're getting somewhere. ARGB sounds correct. Okay. Wait. Where? Oh. Oh no. Oh, you're not gonna be ready for this. You are not gonna be ready for this. Yeah, you are not gonna be ready for this, alright? Hugo Tresser stay good for newbie? 100%. Hugo Tresser can still clear everything in the game. Like, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, I'm just looking at it, debating. But alright. I'm gonna just give you all a bit of a mental shock. How about that? Yo gang, you should definitely invest into Astron. Astron goes to the moon. Astron! We believe in Astron! Ashram propaganda! No, wait! Kaguya Pharmaceutical! Fuck those guys! Holy shit, man! They are so annoying! They banned my guy WG, how did they do that? Big scam! Big Pharma! Down with the rich! Ban them all! Get him! Well, he certainly has very strong opinions. Yeah, I don't really know. I asked Little Kowalski if he wanted to like join our rally. I think he's a little bit on the extreme side. He, yeah, well, I don't know. He doesn't like Kaguya somehow. It's pretty confusing. I am always photosynthesizing. But alright, we have ourselves 7 minutes until we see the news, and we shall see what happens. Of course, the hamsters against pharmaceuticals. Yeah, I mean, he just wrote me a DM, let me check. Well, they experimented on his brother, his mother, his sister, and also his nephew. And that's where he drew the line. That is where he was like, nah, I can't support these guys no more. I need to join and listen to Arabella, not to Arabella. Yeah, listen to Arabella and listen to Rosaria's investment strategy. And we shall see if we're actually going to see those astronomical profits. Are we going to try Epic 7? Well, I mean, I've played Epic 7 more, like, okay, I've played Epic 7 and I stopped a few months after Straze, and then I just came back in between, maybe every sometimes. But I mean, well, if they release something interesting in September and we have nothing better to do, sure, we could do a day or two of just starting a brand new account, trying to see if we can get all the CZN characters and try to like obtain them like Infinity Stones. I mean, who knows? Could be fun. Don't hate me, but I bought big on Kaguya yesterday. Maybe I'll be punished by losses. Well, listen to this. It might sound crazy, but you can still sell. There's still 6 minutes. There's still 6 minutes until the stock update. But yeah, just before anybody really wants to like ask or find out, well, what exactly are we hunting deck-wise, right? So the deck that we're looking for is going to be, yeah, pretty much this one. Okay, obviously it's not going to be exactly as okay, it's going to be as fancy. Like, we don't need cost reduction on these two. If we could just get cost reduction on these instead, right? Then again, I'm wondering. With this deck here, we are detonating Fracture 10 times. Would it be better to just, I don't know, do it differently? Also, is the plus 80% on Observer's Pleasure really worth it? Or should we rather just go with the certainty that it applies to Fracture stacks at the beginning of a turn? I don't know. But yeah. We could make everything 0 cost if we were to just not copy one. That is very true. But why would I do that? Why would I copy one less if I could also copy one more? Like, have you thought about that? Like, could you imagine just copying one more than one less? It's kind of crazy. You believe 110 is gonna rise, otherwise you're gonna sell the house, your own house? Damn, I didn't know you were that invested. Holy investment. Alright. Let's get ourselves back to a reasonable size. There we go. Alright. So we have, well, 4 minutes. There's no point like starting a chaos run because I sure as I won't be able to finish it until then. Ooh. Beach background. How do you get beach background? Do you need to buy the pass? Or do you get it naturally? Aww. The premium version? Aww, they could have made it the $9.99 one. Aww. Paying 10 extra for 840 gems, 5 stamina, just to get the background for the save data. I mean, it's a really cool one, but like, well... Would buying a deck ever be worth it? It depends. What do you value more, right? Do you value your time? Do you think you can even build the deck? Or, like, I mean, it depends, right? If, for example, let's say you never used Haru, you never found a reason to use her, but you have her E2 and you don't know what to do, then, well, you could just go, boom, bang, bop, get this deck, and all of a sudden you'd have the best morale booster in the game, right? And you could also go into the chaos, and then you could find an anchor shot, and then you can still try and re-epiphany this. I mean, well, it depends, right? Looking at it like that, you're gonna, I mean, to build this deck, how much black mass would there be, even if you do get weakness fortitude? I mean, surely like 30,000, but then again, you also can't build it with the seasonal save data, so sometimes it's also just best to build it yourself. Let's game yourself. True. Official Discord is dying, or what? Is it? Not the official court dying. What happened to the official court? Oh yeah, also, fuck, now I know what I wanted to do a video on today. I wanted to have a look at the infinite Tresor exploit, but I forgot. Should have wrote that on my whiteboard. I mean, we can still do it tomorrow. Alright, whatever. Let's get it. We should be really close. Like 40 seconds or so. Oh, I'm photosynthesizing again. That is what it is. It's gonna be fine in a bit. See, if I shake myself a bit, and then, yeah, I just get like epilepsy or something. See, now we're not as bright anymore. I mean, we are still a little enlightened, but what can you do about it? Okay, Arco and Vike in the gang, more people are quitting the game. I mean, I might as well see what's happening. You might as well see what's happening with the first Annie, right? But alright, let's go! So, what happened to the stocks? Okay. 110 rose to high, supporters slowly starting to sell off and leave. Clients turn away amid patent dispute. Red alert for Kaguya sales. Expansion day one quieter than expected. Investors scoop up discounted Astron. But when it drops, Specialized puzzled by the low price securing trend. 3 new faces are coming. TTW, Cosmopticon and GigaArts listing imminent. What is the tip for today? Sell in euphoria, buy in fear, but this might not be fear, it could be a collapse. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. There's a red number. There's a red number. Alright. Well, let's see. Everything went up, only Astron went down. Oh, fuck. God damn. 110 went even higher. Even higher than the day before. Even Kaguya went up. Man, my one stock in Kaguya actually has made us a little profit. Isn't that disgusting? We are finished, gang. Not a good day for Astron. Let's see. Still a monopoly is a monopoly. The one who holds out wins, says the small ship lover. Support with money you can afford to lose. There's no such thing as money you can afford to lose in this world. His ship seized. He had his ship seized. Alright, alright. Well, next time we know, don't trust Rosaria. I mean, she still tells us to, well, very much support Astron. I mean, he's talking about judging rationally. I mean, well. Alright, what about Kaguya? Recover to 80, the new drug outweighs the lawsuit. Anyone who told me to freeze myself still alive, I've reached my average support price. How many characters for a nickname? And then 110. Back to 180, correction over, ready for launch. Hands up if you pick this up below 100. No such thing as a high. I mean, this guy did say hit 150 next towards the atmosphere, and then it did drop, and then it did go up. Well, Astron stonks tomorrow, trust. Buy when it drops. The specialists are puzzled by the low price securing trend. Kage, you're gonna take your money? Well, never listening to me again? What are we talking about? I only really told you to buy good old Astron all the way until yesterday. After that, well, we were on up to our own fates, right? We decided to collectively trust Rosaria. Yal said she had two very convincing arguments to vote for Astron, and well, that's a decision we all have to live by. Obviously, I had to go with you down that deep dark path, and we had to see it to the end. But for now, the real question is, because as we did collectively decide yesterday, we are in it for the money. So the question is, what is the money path today, right? What is the money path? What is the money maker? And how far do we believe a singular stock can even go? I mean, if we go back in time, you see Astron did peak the ultimate highest out of all of them. But then, well, once Kaguya went up here, they dropped. I mean, 110, is it gonna go even higher? It is pretty expensive. We hold out on Astron to the moon. What I'm really interested in is the other three as well. Straight from Astron yesterday and went Giga. Not sure what to go on for today, yeah. I mean, let's listen to Arabella's advice. Greed puts reason to sleep. La. Oh, Captain, when did he get here? I don't know. Just now, apparently. What is it? Gold. You've been making a profit. Well, see, I've made slightly more than the amount of coins I should have by today with just 1,000 coin logins. You see, count the small time traders lose everything here, but if you play your cards right, you can rise to the top. Nothing clouds your judgment quite like the gold sitting right in front of you. Just like you, I came this close and your guard's down. Emma, is it now? Why are our noses brushing? Why do I even need to read this dialogue? I just want you to tell me if I should invest in Astron. Hello? Man, you didn't really teach me much, man. You're like, well, there's like the bulls and then there's the bears. Yeah, but like, what are you? And how do I make money? But yeah, no, if we look at the current trend, we have 4,000 worth of assets, but we are on our third day of trading, so we've made 1,000 coins profit. That is, well, it's not a loss, alright? So, what I'm really curious about is, do we have a black speaker, black market mogul? You got 14k on your 4th day. See, can anybody beat 14k from Mr. Umbra-filled eyes? Can anybody beat 14k? Like, imagine if he was to invest all of that into Astron. Be 300 shares. But yeah, no. I'm very proud of my 1 share of Kaguya. It made me like 20 coin. Truly a fantastic day. But alright. Let's get into, well, the 2 auto runs, see how we do, and then figure out the rest. You have 59, what? 59 shares, 59 coins, 59 unicorns? If yes, how did you get 59 unicorns? Nah, man, I put all my money into Astron. I mean, we knew yesterday was a weird fucking day. And I'll be honest with you, it could have gone any, like, direction. Like, Kaguya could have went down. 110 could have went down. Technically, Astron could have went up. But, like, everything looked pretty vague yesterday, I believe. I don't think there was anything that was, like, super guaranteed. Then again, we were betting on the fact that somehow routine observations weren't going to impact a transporting company. Which, well, obviously that doesn't work out, but it's alright. Yeah, I said we needed to trust Rosaria because she had 2 very convincing arguments, and I mean, I did agree, so it's what it is. Come on, give me a tier 15, I can play without coin reduction. Looks disgusting. That is about the worst tier 15 it could be, but Arabella is strong enough. You got cooked, we all got cooked. Cooked together. Swamp would be best if you don't have enough crit. Well, define not having enough crit. Because you always gotta count the partner as well. How does the Iran war affect the Astron stock? And does the Strait of Hormuz block is it going to cause any issues? See, surprisingly enough, there is a very few points of connection between the Strait of Hormuz and interplanetary space travel. Like, I know this might sound like a vague one, but like, I was surprised as well, but there really isn't that much of like a, you know, a Venn diagram connecting the 2 of them. So you don't have to be too worried. How people get sub 1 second in the new game mode in GS? Well, you get an insta-kill with Jotaro. The entire idea is you use a bunch of ults to weaken the enemy, and then use Jotaro ult, and Jotaro ult needs to kill. And if you do below 1 second, basically you just one-shot with Jotaro from the pretty much very beginning. But alright. Okay, thank you, my online financial advisor. No trouble. I've always led you into the wrong, so all good. I went to Enemy NYC yesterday and there was nothing CZN. Aww. Sad news. Sad. I mean, maybe there was something Mirezi. Probably not. I don't know. Oh yeah, also, that Mirezi game, right? Supposed to come out this year. And I'm not entirely too sure when they want to do that. Because, well, we obviously have the anniversary for like October. GTA in like November. Anything past that is cooked anyway. Well, I don't know. They figure something out. But apparently we're getting that 2026. That is going to be certainly something. Is Olga a psionic or a controller? What kind of question is that? She obviously is a psionic. But yeah. What do you think? What are the likelihoods of the devs buffing Agony? Now that Agony is actually a part of Arabella's kit on an actual card of hers, and part of a card of hers actually activating Agony, as well as also based on the information that Olga is also going to at least have a build path focused around Agony. Does this somehow increase the chances of them showing mercy on Agony? What game? Morezi? No, Mirezi. M-I-R-E-S-I. I think Smygit the publishers, Control 9 the devs, or like X-Control. Ooh! Hello! Who are you? The only problem with this one, well, the fact that it's a scream for me, so I don't really know if there's like a, well, a multi-scream for me deck. Like, I don't really think there is, but that does not mean that we can't just get multiple cost reduction divines in a singular run, right? Like, that really should not be all too difficult. I don't know about Agony buff, I've heard enough. Devs buff Yuki for the 10th time, please. Yep, that is exactly what you should be taking away from that one. They should buff Yuki again. Stack the damage amount scream for me. Yeah, but the problem also is, well, the screen for me it landed on is the draw one. So if I were to, well, get this 4 times, I'd have an Arabella that has half of her cards draw more cards than she has. But what am I gonna do with that? You know? What am I gonna do with that? So the easiest solution indeed is to just get another cost reduction divine. Draw 2 is the best, yes, but I mean, I guess we could treat it as, but also, okay, well, we could treat it as a nice one-off and then just use divine cost to do the rest. That is true. Aww. I really thought we were gonna see like a choose your own divine event, you know? But no luck. No luck. We making Shizuru support Arabella. I can dig it. I mean, I never really believed in like the concept of a support Shizuru. I can get behind sub DPS Shizuru, but the idea of a support Shizuru just doesn't really seem to make much sense. Haven't been able to play in a while. Are the Arabella decks from your day one still the go-to decks for her? Well, they certainly are still viable, especially the multi-hit and the fracture trigger version. There could be like 1 or 2 twists depending on one like different sadistic restraint or one different hollow verdict. But for the most part it's still the same. The main thing we found out is, I guess, 2 things. Instinct damage, scaled fracture, and even more importantly, let me just make sure we buy this. Even more importantly, Orlea. Orlea makes fracture do big boom, like huge boom, like really big. That's most of what you need to know. Oh, and also, I guess for the decks, if you really want to, you can cut the Art of Unmaking. Like, if you're okay with cutting a purple card and it doesn't bother you for the sake of effectiveness, cutting Art of Unmaking makes the deck better, right? But if you're not a heartless, cruel human being, then you can't cut the Art of Unmaking, because it's very important. The card is like so important, not because it has like an animation or because they like made it motion move thing or anything. No, not like that. Okay, kind of. I feel like we can get like 1 copy of Scream for me. And then, well, just hope we get like a nice other sadistic restraint. So especially for this Scream for me, I think it would be fine if we turn one of them into just the like afflict 9 total fracture, like 3 to everyone, 9 to the highest, and then we need 1 less Okay, double activation. But what I wanted to say is then we need one less of the sadistic restraint. Though that is not gonna end up, like, this deck is not gonna end up being a multi-hit deck. That was that thing is now gone now that I decided to pick up a duplicate of the Scream for Me. That is no longer on the table. It's not an option. Can still be a really good deck. Maybe even better than multi-hit, depending on how you look at it. Would Serenian and Arabella be a good team with a support? I mean, yeah, so long as you provide the draw. You just build Serenia in a way that Serenia provides the AP, Arabella eats the AP, and the support provides the draw. Are you gonna vote for CZN for this one? We are not on Mobile Gear Game of the Year. Do they count like releases of previous years, or is it only for like the yearly ones? Because I mean we did release last year, right? Page not found. Oh, cause I copied everything. Let me see. What is this? Presenting the finalists for Gaming on Phone Awards 2026. The hell is that? How the hell did 7 Deadly Sins Origin make it there? I mean, hey, it's at least Enfield, Neverness to Everness, and CZN. Mobile gaming's biggest night. Well, I don't know about that. Right? Like I don't know about that. Where? Oh, here we are. I mean, hey. Shout out CZN, very important. Streaming worldwide. And this year you can also watch the live stream on our YouTube channel. Wow. Who's my favorite season, eh? Who do I like the most out of the 3? Would you be surprised if I tell you I like them all? Would that surprise you? Oh! Oh, that's a highlight. Look at that. We can select a Guaranteed Divine. We have Sadistic Restraint open. And we're looking at like a... Well, 1 in 9, 1 in 10 to get a cost reduction. If we can get an additional cost reduction here, oh my. Oh my. My cost reduction looking a little different today. I didn't know it was going to reduce the cost by 4. I mean, it does say 4, right? So, well, that's impressive. But I don't think the card actually costs that much. So I'm not entirely too sure how we, well, got to that number. It's very confusing. You just got a 9. Should you build her? Well, do you like what you see? That's a very simple question. Look at the character you just got. Ask yourself, do you like what you see? And then based on that, well, are you gonna build her? But if you're asking from a raw perspective of, would 9 be worth building? And if 9 is a strong unit, the answer to that would be a resounding yes. Nah, I thought we'd really get like back-to-back divines. Tough luck. Yeah, unlock the lobby too. I mean, sure. I mean, it depends. Maybe he's like, oh no, I don't like that, and then he's never gonna play her. But sure. Pocket links at your own risk. Go ahead, bring 9 to Affinity 10, and well, see if that helps or dissuades you from any further 9 shenanigans. Lost the 50 banner for the 5th time in the last 6 banners. I also had and even have a stretch like this right now. But there will be a time where things will work out. The only problem is when, right? It's not about the if, it's about the when. So the most obvious or most optimal solution would obviously be the good old sweet anniversary. Oh, cost reduction. You're unique though. If you weren't unique, I might have tried to cook something with it. Laurie X Galadwin. Hey, what's up, what's up? Appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. So, once again, we have the chance to get another divine. Because, that's very realistic. Watch. Getting 3 divines on the same card in a run, but having 2 of them be the agony divine is indeed a little hurtful. But just a little. Like, don't you worry, I'm fine. Totally, utterly, and completely fine. Especially because this would have been the peak time for us to get a divine there. But well, not everyone can succeed all the time, as they say. Yeah. Had to go follow on Twitch too? Alright. Did I run out of divine cores? So, you think I ever had a divine core stockpile? Well, that's very kind of you. You think I have the control and the patience to not just do a sortie run and then blast every single coin I have and then complain that I have no currency? I do appreciate that. It means a lot. But yeah, no, I usually live on the edge. Like, pre-farming, I know it's the smart thing to do, but I don't really do that. When I do a sortie, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes after the sortie, the coins are usually gone. Because I go into sortie with the reason to do it. And that is do whatever I want to do. And then I do that. And then, well, things happen. Perma on 0 divine cost even with hitting the chaos, the 0 sister, yeah, the sortie mines daily. Understandable. Totally normal behavior. Actually the way to go. So the biggest question is, well, do we just go with another scream for me? Just because it has a divine. Because I don't know how to feel about a 3 scream for me deck. It would make it easier to finish the deck though. Because we just need to get like 1 or 2 re-epiphany cores for scream for me. And then, well, job done, right? We could... I mean, maybe we'll do something with this deck. Who knows? Who knows? Hey, a weapon. A weapon. Is Olga going to be a controller? No, she's a psionic. But she'll basically fulfill the controller role. CZN Jesus, please guide you on how to reach 1 million score on the Great Rift. Ooh, well, there's the easy way. And that is at least putting 3 Season 4 save data decks, as well as a Arabella and a Hild into your team. That is the easy route. And then if you further want to like succeed on that easy route, well, you gotta get yourself an Arabella. And you want to give that Arabella the AoE version of Hollow Verdict in its duplicate trigger form. Which means this one here specifically. And then you get that 4 times. Probably just reduce its cost or whatever. And then you're almost done. Then you are almost a very successful Great Rift builder. Ah, we are again at the limit of save data possession. Who's broken down now again? And how many decks is it? Typhera. Huh. They really do need to give us more save data space. You lost Arabella to a Veronica. That is tragic. That is indeed tragic. Would Arabella's partner be a must-have? Not technically a must-have, but the strongest thing you could do for an Arabella. So, make of that what you will, right? While it might not end up being a must-have, it is the best thing you could do for your Arabella. So... Even Hard Pity? Ouch. Speaking of Sortie, I know those are limited, but I'm tempted basically to throw 3 copies into Arabella, because you've spent around 40 divines and got only 1 cost reduction. How are 3 Arabella copies going to make that any better though? Because it makes playing Sortie with Arabella more fun? I mean, like, honestly, at the moment, if you want to build a cost reduction Arabella deck, I'd highly recommend just trying to get a cost reduction from Chaos. And then just maybe do, like, the last few touch-ups. Like, at least get 2, 3, preferably, obviously, 4 of your divines from Chaos. Unless you obviously want to min-max and you want to get yourself that crit rate chess piece. Well, then, a Sortie is that way. I want more team safe pre-slots. 6 is so little for me. Well, I never use them. In general, I don't really use any... Okay, I don't use most of the features. Like, for example, key bindings and all that. Too late. I'm already used to doing a bunch of clicky. Same kind of with team presets. Like, every time I remember they're there, I forget that they exist. Because I've been doing it for so long now, just... thinking of the team, putting everybody together, and then, well, it's automatic. What Arabella deck most likely to be used with an Olga? Oof. Oof, that's a tough-ish call, but I feel like it makes sense to assume that the team-wide fracture activation epiphanies are there for at least a reason. Though, I don't think you can go wrong with just a standard fracture trigger deck. That should very much be possible. Though, you know, if you really wanted to find a deck that works with Olga, almost guaranteed, while being almost completely useless right now, you should try and build Agony Arabella. If you build Agony Arabella, there's also... with almost 100% certainty gonna be a Olga build path that focuses on Agony. And then you can play them all together in Agony. And they live together in harmony. It's just, well, depending on how you look at it, just because they work together doesn't mean you got a good deck. But it's up for debate, not being able to change the keybinds as buns, otherwise you'd just be using them. Change your keyboard's keybinds. Like, make yourself a imaginary keyboard layout that auto activates every time you open the game. and then just change the assigned keys on the keyboard to the keybinds. Would the best place to farm Ara decks in the Zero system be the Judgment Planet? Swamper Judgment, yes, because it has the strongest gear. Just move the keycaps around easy. Yeah, but then your keyboard looks all wrong. But okay, what are the odds? We're looking at a 2, 2 and 5, 2 and 7. I mean, we hit those, right? Ah. Mika hits those, is what I meant to say. I must have misspoken. Any thoughts on Claim 5 not working on Agony? It doesn't? I mean, it's fixed damage after all, right? So... No, wait, it should. Why wouldn't it? Because damage over time amount on a Tresor increases the damage amount of Agony. And seeing as how that's dot percentage, that should just be the same thing. Like, did you actually test it? Did somebody tell you that? Or are you just assuming because Agony is fixed damage? Did we have the possibility for like 2 select card divines in map 1? Auto run. The problem with there's also one where you like encounter the tiny lady and she can give you an event selection choice. But I just had a crazy idea. Did it say when attacked or when taking damage? Like that is a like it's a really weird idea. I just had a really weird idea. Let me just see what it said. So I just had a very interesting thought. You see this chess piece, right? Or this ring that says specifically when taking damage for Agony on the attacker. What happens if the attacker is you? Like, let's say you combine this with the when using an attack card, take damage equivalent to 1% of your max HP, gain a 60% shield. What happens then? Can you Agony stack yourself? Like, I don't know what the point of that would be. Nor do I know how they would implement that to work. But no, what I was mainly focused on, even the dice, yes. But what I was mainly focused on was this. When taking damage for Agony. Like, I really thought maybe there was a way for us to, I don't know. Apply like 4 Agony every time we use an attack card by using this. But that probably doesn't work. But I mean, if anybody can think of a use for that item outside of obviously, well, getting attacked, do let me know. Do let me know. Listening. Like the psionic controller resistance card thingy. Yeah, but that would also only be at the end or at the beginning of a turn. So even then, well, you would apply 4 Agony to yourself. So even if it does work, your life would only become more miserable. What happened with Astron today? Good news. In times of great darkness, conviction is one's most important trait. You have to have the conviction to believe that, well, today was a sad day. But no, Astron went down the drain. So don't trust Rosaria's 2 reasons. Unless you want to trust her all the way, then you stick with Astron and you see what happens tomorrow. Like, you just stick with Astron and you see what happens tomorrow. You trusted me? Well, I only really told you to invest into Astron for the first 2 days, and that gave us handy profits. Yesterday we followed the convictions of someone else. We trusted Rosaria. If you go bankrupt, you're spreading bad rumors for everyone. Oh no. Does Cthulhu only appear in the first half of a run? No. He can appear at any point in time during a run. Astron to the ground. Ooh, the bin cheese. Ooh, wow. Maybe you spoke it into existence. Okay, guaranteed divine. We are looking at a... Get ready. A very, very, very juicy cost reduction sadistic restraint right here, right now. You know what the best part about this is? This is even an epiphany that we want. So yeah, it really isn't that difficult to build a deck. I don't know what y'all have, right? Like, come on, just fucking do it. Like, seriously. But no, now the big one is, well, how do we pivot this into the best multi-hit deck version it could be? Because this is our best attempt we have at actually ending up finishing the deck, right? So, Cube is fine, right? Cube's fine, Cube's cute, Cube can stay. Weapon's obviously a little awkward, but... I mean, with the cost reduction event, we could... It's possible to just go for the 10% crit chance to 0 cost cards. It's possible. It's just... Well, do we really want to do that? Right? Do we really want to do that? Aha. I mean, that is like a cost reduction divine. Kind of. But it is also a bad epiphany, so I'd have to re-epiphany it. Into like this version. But getting a divine on something like that really isn't that difficult. It's just my biggest problem with this is, while it might just be optimal, the most optimal for like a multi-hit deck, it still kind of sucks big time if we can't get fracture amplification applied. Because that's just sad news, you know, it's just sad times, bad times, mad times. So... but I mean, well, past turn 1 it obviously doesn't matter, but who cares about, well, the end of, like, that turn. But 80% is 80%. Oh. Oh. Alright, 80% is 80%. Okay, do we already copy like a sadistic restraint, or do we... See, I'm kind of debating maybe actually selling one of these, because we now have like 4 unique cards. One of them is a divine, the others are like 3 others, so we aren't guaranteed to get the copy of the one that has the cost reduction, but we really want to copy the one that has the cost reduction, obviously. Also, I'm not 100% sure what kind of hollow verdict we want to be going for. But Scream for me... Well, let's see. Increase the damage amount of attackers of this unit by 50%. Defeat with this card to draw 3. So it's not necessarily the divine I'd be looking for. This is not the divine you are looking for, Jedi. But alright. We're still on a good track. We're still on a good pace. Haven't seen Cthulhu yet. Double fracture amplification on Hollow Verdict is nice. Kind of. Yeah, it's kind of nice. Like I can work with that. Don't really care about this epiphany. You know, it'd be sad. Imagine if we die. Imagine if we die on the run now. That'd be terrible. That'd be tragic. Okay. Another divine? No? Alright. Ooh, if we make this card unique, then it can't be copied. And then I could just use a re-epiphany core. If I wanted to change its epiphany. Or we can just change it after the copy event. To at least guarantee... I don't know. We could also just change it right now. I'm not the greatest fan ever of most of our epiphanies here. But I do like the idea of picking up Scream for me and turning it into the draw 2. Well, game seems to disagree. I doubt we're gonna get enough money to do another re-epiphany. Seeing as how we're, well, damn close to another shop, yeah. So that's tough. Okay, we do have enough money for, well, the next re-epiphany. And we still have, what, 2 areas to get a copy event? Yeah. So... I'd like to say decent odds. It's also select copy. I mean, it would have worked anyway, right? But select copy is nice. And... Yeah, really not entirely 100% too sure on what exactly I want to end up picking. Also, maybe claim 3 is a little too much. But I would not mind Egu. I wouldn't mind an egg here. Even a non-egg increases our chances of getting egg on boss fight anyway. Alright. So, good chance of at least finding a weapon. So, do I agree with the Scream for me, or the Hollow Verdict, or the Restraints? I really do want to see the draw 2 Hollow Verdict. No, draw 2 Scream for me. Let's see if we can do that. Divine, maybe cost reduction. Maybe it was a bit too much. So we got neither. I don't think we can reliably play this card at the first each turn, unfortunately. There also shouldn't be one that like moves to our hand, so well, it's okay. Just means the deck needs a little love. Okay, we found the divine, nice. I mean, if we take a common gear core anyway, and then just pretend. It could end up working. Yeah, alright, that works. So, we need like maybe 4 divine cores. Nah, my plan includes... that wouldn't work. Yeah, my plan would include getting another cost reduction on the attack card to make it fully optimal. That's a little expensive. There's like 14, 15 divine cores, right? To like average it out. Well, let's have a look at it, right? So egg obviously would have been a godsend. No, egg is what it is. What can you do? Sometimes epiphanies are a bit more... Okay, sure. Let's talk to her a little. I don't think she's quite there. She's looking a little lost. Hey, welcome back. What a smirk. How's her race Stellar Familia? How's that a race? Did you just not hit a good run? Or god run? Yes, but like a god run technically would also include at least 1 mythic gear piece, right? Let's see. Hey, this is not the deck, right? The deck was this one. I mean, it does have our highest save data score out of all of them. I'm just not entirely too sure why. So we do have the Sever Ties. We have the Observer's Pleasure. So my plan would be... Well, first figuring out that we have 0 unique manifestation epiphany cores. Or re-epiphany cores. Which means... checking the sortie shop to see, well, do we still have any discounted ones left, right? Because otherwise... expensive. Otherwise expensive. We could use the Core of Face to add a guaranteed gear piece. And now this is where things get interesting, right? Well, what do we do with the deck? We could obviously keep it on this ally implosion, but we would be a lot better served going for this one instead, the draw version. I mean, we do have double... Yeah, like, what I'm really looking for is this. The draw 2 cards of this unit scream for me. And then my other idea would be to get a Divine and just put it on Observer's Pleasure. Because Observer's Pleasure is... Well, look at these odds. Like, we basically can't fail. Regardless of if we get, like, the draw 1, the game 1 AP. I mean... This is pretty much, like, I mean, 6 gods, 5, 6 times 10, like, it's like a 65% chance to actually walk away with something useful, right? 70% if we count in draw 1 card of this unit. Yeah, so this would be probably the targeted, like, Divine, right? Because it's the highest chance of actually yielding success. Because it's a skill card. So if we're running a skill card anyway, might as well. And then... we kind of need 2 re-epiphany cores. Because this one doesn't fully fit into my plans. Because it only triggers fracture once. So it kind of goes, play this first to trigger twice. Play this to trigger once. So this is like three total fracture activations. And then that would turn this only into a 4-hitter. But then these will be 6-hitters. If this was a 2-hitter instead, then we go 5-hitter, 6-hitter, 6-hitter. Because like this, the deck, it really doesn't have the draw, right? It just does not have the draw. Also, this deck is, with the way we've built it, you could say rather Haru bound. With it being a claim 3 sabotage. But it was meant to be from the very beginning Haru bound, because they wanted to find a reason to play her. So for this to all just end up working out, we kind of need AP. You know, I guess we'll do something very, very interesting. And that is, we keep the deck exactly the same. We are going to change a bunch of nothing. And we are going to go ahead and pick up the deck first. I mean, I did. Did I actually build her properly? I did. Right? Kind of. I'm debating something, and that is actually building Arabella for what we're about to do, or just keeping her on our gear set, because that's the smart thing to do, because, well, it is a damage over time set. I guess we'd have more success. Alright, sure. Kind of discussing something with myself there, as you might have been able to tell. So let's take off the piece, then build the most disgusting set we can, and then figure out the rest after. So let's first make sure we have all the pieces in order. So should I ever want to rebuild it, I can just steal them from Tresor. Because obviously gear loadouts aren't yet a thing. But when they are, well, that is going to be a pleasant time. So change these over, change this one over. So now my goal is, I don't really care about dot, or not as much anymore. The only thing I really care about is the usual, right? Your good old crit chance, crit damage, and then twice. Set effect wise, she is a instinct character. Oh, also we need to go out of. I mean, I guess it's submarine music, but all right. We could still try and build her in the same set. Just, I mean, it is still a 25% crit damage bonus set, but it's like kind of a 2-piece. So I guess it would be best to just build a simple and straightforward in attack and crit. Am I blind? I must be. I don't see the set. Where's the attack set? Ah, there it is. I was blind, by the way. So this has 2.4 and 11.9. 5.9, 2.4. Yeah, never one such thing as too much crit damage, I heard. So let's look for attack percent or instinct. Because of the sub condition. Are we still looking for subs? We are not. Okay. So 6.4, 3, awkward. Okay, what if I include all sets? for a goblet, because the goblets are usually a bit harder to come by. What if we just include all? Is there anything that's like particularly well rolled? I think it's this one. No. Ah, this one was specifically for... Oh, I mean, that's tempting. Yeah, I kind of want to see how high we can push the crit damage, because I have a few pieces in mind that combine into a bit of a madness. So let's do that. Hey, Void Zima, appreciate the follow. You're about to see a deck that's or a build that's a little, well, little over the top. It's probably how you best describe it. Now I just need to recall where I am best off putting Blackwing, because I know most of my Blackwing pieces are kind of mega ass. So, because I mostly found the crit damage set rather than the Blackwing set. So I only have like a couple that you can actually show someone without having to be embarrassed about it. So I need to figure out which one of those that are... Oh, that's not terrible. But it also goes against my master plan of getting as much stats as possible. I mean, we can keep this one in mind. Alright, it doesn't look like we have much of a choice, to be honest. Alright, then no mega crit damage master plan. At least not completely. So I want crit damage, give me 2. Okay, let's see. So we have 10, 5.8, 13, 14. Maybe. Probably. Very much so. Alright. And then let's find the final piece. Look at these differences. It's the same exact rolls, right? Look at these differences. It's kind of crazy. We have a 2-2 roll, crit damage, crit chance. 4.711. And now the exact same roll. 2-2 at 5.5, 7.9. Crit up by 1.2. But crit damage down by 3.1. No, 4.1, right? 3.2. It is a little extreme. Damage over... No. Yeah, EU. Damage over time. I'll present to you a real masterpiece, okay? Get ready for this deadline. I think we can be proud of it. I would like to say that This is a pretty good chunk of crit damage. Yeah. I think that's a very, very nice number. Yeah. 232%. But yeah, I wonder if we could push this higher if we were to just run the crit damage 4p. I mean, it would be just 25%, but like, well, so much crit damage. Indeed, indeed. That was the idea. And it would be even better if I could use this necklace here. This one. Look at it now. But unfortunately, then we end up destroying the 4-piece and the 2-piece attack, and that's probably not worth it. Just for the additional 8%. But it's something we can do. But yeah, no. I think it's a very juicy stat line. But yeah, you know what's crazy though? Would you expect that the crit damage of this build is higher or lower than our 4-piece, 2-piece? Like just from a like generalized perspective, what would make sense? For it to be higher or for it to be lower? Also, I'm just realizing now that some numbers in my head were actually entirely too screwed. Yeah, well, I'm not even gonna talk about it, so you don't have any point of reference, so you can't blame me. Yep, I'm just not gonna talk about it, not even gonna explain what that is, because if you don't find out, then I cannot be held liable. Alright, now let's make something that's very smart. Let's make a very smart purchase. We go to data download, and we pick this shit up. Alright, let's go. And we equip it. And then let me show you the power of 700 gems, alright? Are y'all ready to see the power of 700 gems in this game? I'll show you the power of 700 gems. I've been looking forward to playing this for quite some time now. So let me present to you the power of 700 gems. What do I exactly mean by that? Well, we have 2 decks that each one of you could either obviously well build or get. And we are also look who we are using. Level 10 Priscilla. Level 10 Priscilla. Mrs. Mad Lad herself. She won't actually be relevant for this, but that's not important. 700 Jameses. Yeah, but sometimes you gotta sacrifice the Jameses to make the fun. Make fun go up, right? Okay. So now let's actually try and play this deck. I was really looking forward to doing this. So I hope it is about as good as I would imagine it to be. So, alright, let's get this out of the way. Also, how does this card art look? Special. Fantastic. Almost perfect. How are there no cards to draw? Oh yeah, because we had to draw the anchor first. Well, but this is kind of what the important part is here. We are looking at 20 morale and -8 fortitude on the enemy. That's the entire point of this. We can ourselves gain 20 morale and reduce the enemy fortitude by 8, but no, if we play it properly, we can actually reduce it by 10. So that means, well, all of our thingies are supposed to hit a lot harder. That's all it needs to do. And then, well, we obviously are gonna build up our hit count or whatever at some point. But, yeah. I do need to be a bit careful of the order. And that is, maybe it doesn't work as well to get. Maybe we'd actually be better off using a nausea. Because there's this weird mix where we kind of want to use the anchor, yes. But also, when we do use the anchor, well, we are gonna be broke in terms of AP. So... 50-50. Especially if said anchor doesn't come back. But, yeah, let's see. Let's see how this goes. Alright, so let's get this out of the way. And then pull this back in. Pull this back in. Draw another card. We do need a lot of card draw if we wanted to, like, get the negative 10. But I don't know how much we care about, well, the full negative 10 fortitude, right? Yeah, because, the draw here is kind of premeditated on anchor shot. Well, then let's just pretend we don't care about it, right? Let's just pretend we don't really care about our AP and we can just, right, get it all back later. Alright, let's see. So I could use anchor shot here. Get that thing back. Use it again. But then we use Veronica to draw some cards. So then we also get the anchor back. But the important part is we actually need to spend our AP before we play the anchor shot. Because otherwise the anchor shot's gonna eat all our AP. And then, well, no AP, we won't be able to play no cards no more, right? Or at least we need to play out all the cards that actually cost AP. But alright, let's see if we can set it up properly, right? Let's see if we can actually get like a proper turn done. So, it's a good idea to at least get one anchor back. And then first apply fracture. We don't have fracture amplification inflicted. That's a problem. Maybe we should take like an extra draw partner still. Like I'm thinking about just using these cards now to get more value out of the AP, but we're also kind of draw stuck right now, which is a little unfortunate. which is why I kind of wanted to get like that additional draw on Arabella, right? With the whoops, that was stupid. With the re-epiphanies. Sorry. I guess it also at least a little bit more depends on what kind of hand we're dealing with. But yeah, hey, I'm already making a little progress in regards to, well, how we want to end up playing this deck, so an important step for mankind, kind of. Yeah, okay, so Mr. 105 should be interesting. Could you edit the save data you buy? You could, yes. You can do anything you want with it after you buy it. Alright. So let's see. What did we learn? Right, so the upgrade card goes out first. We obviously draw ourselves a little more. get a couple more cards in hand. Then we play everything that obviously requires AP first. That's a bit of a waste not playing the anchor, but should be alright. Oh, because it was two enemies that all had their fracture afflicted or activated. Yeah, understandable. I was a little curious what exactly just happened there. Oh, I guess one of the things you could also be like, well, questioning a bit is our survivability, and you wouldn't be particularly wrong, right? Like I can see where the concern would be coming from. Obviously, clearly unfounded, but well, how would you know, right? Alright, so we obviously want to draw. Want to make sure we make him pay. Want to draw some more. Draw more, because the more AP we have, the more likely we are to be still able to play something. And the more cards we end up playing, the more likely we are to break out of this, yeah, well, void. So that should be fine. Okay. Do we just... I really don't want to leave her alone another turn. Or leave her alive another turn. Let's see how this goes. So, Mr. 105. Let's give it a peek. Okay. So, we're first gonna apply fracture observation, fracture amplification, not fracture observation, whatever that would be. Gonna make sure we draw. Now, this is a really awkward, like, hand, I'll be honest. Really awkward. But alright. Hit him. Draw. Hit him. Draw. Hit him. Draw. Hit him. Draw. AP. No, wrong order. Should have been first anchor, then draw, Yeah, so that we can do sever ties. And we can hollow verdict his ass. Okay. And now we have the beautiful ability to use a 4-hitter into a 6-hitter. And we might as well see how much damage it does, right? So, and then for the 6-hitter. Good. Obviously, unfortunately, we still have 3 cards in our deck that we would have loved to play. But sometimes the turn hand just doesn't quite allow for what you would want it to do. Ooh, with Blossoming Venom, that could have been disgusting. Let me actually reset the turn and try the exact same thing, just using the partner. Really curious what that's gonna do. Hey, how are you? Well, I am very much in a prime mood. We just have a very nice deck ahead of us. We just got decently lucky doing the, yeah, even just our 2 autos. But alright, so we also play the part. No. Roll it back. Partner does give 1 AP, so let's be smart about this. Let's be smart about this. Let's draw. Use the anchor. 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 Then we can apply Blossoming Venom. Then we can draw. And now we're in a lot more tasty of a spot, but unfortunately still not perfect. But that's... Well, we're even in a bit, I guess, a bit of a worse situation than before somehow. Well, let's see how that goes. So, we apply Fracture. Then we... double trigger it. And we draw a card. There we go. Then we repose it. Now we're looking mighty fine. So the only thing we're missing is Sever Ties for an additional 120 bonus. But okay, how do we order this? I think this one first. Okay, and then this one. And then that one. No. But yeah. No. My Aura E6 hitting for more than 350k in one turn. Is that good? Full draw team plus hit plus Typhara no buff. Brother, what the fuck? What do you mean, is that good? Are we talking in tower or are we talking Great Rift? Because Great Rift, obviously, if you get like a couple dot extra theirs, or like, I mean, it depends, right? Is it a single target stage? It's an AoE stage. Just throwing 350k out there and just hitting people with the number to the head is obviously a little hard to say. But obviously, well, if anybody says 350k damage in the turn is low, then, well, who are they? Who are they? Wouldn't it be better to have one more copy of the anchor and one less of the pointer? Is 16 and 10 fortitude was 24 because cap, but 16 fortitude. Yes and no. Let's talk about it. Alright? Let's talk about it. So there is a separate version of this Haru deck right here that technically has a slightly higher ceiling. But let's discuss why and what. I think we should have the example decks in build preset. Yeah. Let me create the scenario, right? Let's just move. And then, yeah, this gets taken. Alright. So let's talk about the strength and the weaknesses of both approaches, right? And then technically there's a third one, which would be the ultimate one-turn approach, but that's not relevant, right? You asked, well, why don't you just double copy anchor shot? Okay. Sorry. Let me go out of submarine mode so we don't all lose our sanity. Or specifically, I lose mine. So, what we are trying to compare is this deck. This deck specifically relies 100% on the fact that you can only use this in Justice content or in content where there's every type is effective, right? The moment you take this outside of Justice content, or not every outside of Justice content or content where every type is effective, this deck becomes functionally useless, right? And the reason for that, and the reason why it doesn't hit this deck the same, why somehow one anchor doesn't become useless in non-Justice content, is due to this lovely lady right here. You might have seen her every once in a while. You might have thought about picking her up once upon a time because she looks kind of cool. And you might have been like, "Aw, it's kind of sad that nobody really talks about Priscilla and nobody really recommends her. Because, well, her arachnid domain really isn't that great." But luckily for you, there is this skill down here that says you're going to apply attack weakness to one of the assigned combatant's random attack cards in hand. See, funnily enough, this Haru deck only happens to have one attack card, which means all of a sudden the singular anchor becomes weakness attack. And well, what does a weakness attack anchor do? It adds weakness attack. And that means that you can take this deck as a morale generator into any piece of content of your choosing. So, yeah, that's the main difference between using 1 and 2. But if you are playing Justice content, or if you are playing the tower, then this has a higher ceiling. So the math goes the following. Have anchor shot in turn, use it, 3 morale, decrease fortitude by 2, get it back 4 times, meaning this in total is going to give you 15 morale, reduce the enemy fortitude by 10, and then due to these 1 morale divine epiphanies, you're actually going to get 19. So you're staring at 19 morale, negative 10 fortitude. Whereas this deck right here, where the way this works is not only do you first, well, you can afford to use 1 anchor pointer before you have them in hand, because it applies retrieve. But retrieve doesn't stack, which means yes, you can play 1 anchor pointer, but at the latest you need to get both anchor shots in hand. But once you do, they are going to retrieve. So once you then have both anchor shots in hand, you can use them. They come back. Use an anchor pointer, you can use them. They come back. Use an anchor pointer, you can use them. They come back. And then if you did count with us together, you would already be arriving at 8, right? At least that's what I think you would. Oh, not quite. You'd be at 6. And then obviously you use them again. So now you'd be at 8. And that means this deck specifically would give you 24 stacks of morale and 16 fortitude. Thing though, you can't get over 20 morale. So you're kind of overcapping on morale a bit, but you are getting negative 16 fortitude. But yeah, this deck is even more RNG and requires a lot more setup. Because what do you do when, well, that second anchor shot just doesn't land in your hand and you're sitting on a bunch of anchor pointers? But it does have the higher ceiling, but this one is just a bit more consistent. Oh, and then for all of you mad lads out there that really just want to see the world burn, well, let me present you this deck. This deck right here is the so-called nuke it all in a singular turn, don't look back deck. Pretty much. And that is because what this deck does, well, I mean, I guess you could use this epiphany here that just replaces itself. So that's fine. Yeah, but let me just duplicate the card enough times so that we all have it. So, well, the math on this one here is a little different. And that is, you're going to be able to use the anchor shot first. then get it back with Anchor Pointer, so you can use it again. But then you get the Anchor Pointer itself back, so that you can get the Anchor Shot back. Which means that for the very first turn, you can actually use 8 of these Anchor Pointers to retrieve this one Anchor Shot, leading to in total 9 uses, or the highest possible amount of, well, morale and weakness attack you're going to get out of a Haru deck. And that is, you're going to get 27 morale and negative 18 fortitude. I mean, I'm not entirely too sure what you would do with this, because this deck turns into a standard Anchor Shot deck the moment you've used it for a turn. And the only difference between this deck and the deck you can get is you would get, well, 4 less fortitude on average. But for that one turn, you would be playing Anchor Shot 9 times, leading to, well, 20 stacks of fortitude and negative 18 stacks of weakness attack, which is a 760% flat damage increase. Where's the AP to play all of that? Well, funny that you ask that. There's 2 solutions to this, okay? One of them involves a character, and that is going to be Nausea. When you use Nausea to reduce a card's cost, that card's cost gets reduced for the entire turn. Meaning the moment the Anchor Shot hits 0 cost, no matter how many times you play it this turn and you play it and you get it back and you play it and you get it back and you play it and you get it back, it's always going to be 0 cost. Where the other one, without having to use Nausea, is going to be her second dupe. Her second dupe allows her to play Anchor Shot at 0 cost. So that means that, well, you want to find yourself in a situation where you first play all the other cards, so you get to 0 AP, or you just get to 0 AP and then get AP back after. And that is because, yeah, well, you can use this to just play Anchor Shots at 0 AP cost. Yes, they're going to have their damage reduced by 60%, but you're still going to get 40% of the Anchor Shot value, and if you're treating her as a support, you really don't care about that too much. Could I come up with a Nausea bit for supporting Ara Ara? There you go. Probably something simple like this. So you'd have the Shackles of Hunger on draw 1. You can either use Domain of Veracity for having Mealtime heal more if you need like more healing on your team, or you could cut it, both the same. I would keep in Mealtime, especially if you have a dedicated partner. But yeah, then the rest is rather simple. You have Bottomless Hunger giving you Veracity and draw. Then Bottomless Hunger for Veracity and draw. So this means you get 2 AP, 1 draw, 2 AP, 1 draw, 2 AP, 1 draw, 2 AP, 1 draw. Meaning that this deck overall costs you 3 AP a turn, but provides 8, meaning it's positive by 5. This card will always stay in hand because it's retained. This card is gone, which means this deck goes down to having effectively 7 cards. And yeah, it has effectively 7 cards, but all of them draw 1, which means you have, well, I guess one of them draws 2. So you have 7 cards in the deck that draws 8 times, provides 5 positive AP, and, well, also provides Veracity as a way to damage boost Arabella. And you do also have the chance to create Predation should you desire it, both with Voluntary Control and Mealtime. You could technically try to get funky with it and do something like, if Mealtime is in draw pile, move to hand, if in graveyard, 3 morale for 1 turn. But yeah, you could also just not do that. Like, that is also an option, right? Like, especially if you run this. I mean, you could end up running that thing for, like, it's this deck, right, that they've shown off. I don't know how to feel about this. Like, I think it's kind of silly. But it is, I mean, look at this deck. That's a small deck. But no, it's this deck right here, where if you look at it, you're going to have a Shackles of Hunger that gives you always 2 draw at the start of the turn, because it always moves to hand at the start of the turn. You have a Bottomless Hunger that gives you 2 AP. and then you have a voluntary control that draws you one, gives you veracity stacks, and then you have these ones. So you have a card that is treated as a common card, meaning when you play it, you get all the other treated as a common cards. So these voluntary controls kind of create a chain. You only need to draw one of them to get all of them. And once you do, the only thing you need to do is first play Mealtime, then use voluntary control to generate 9 morale. So while this deck doesn't have about as much AP and about as much draw as the deck we looked at, it at least does provide 9 morale on top of 2. I mean, I guess it's 1 AP positive if you look at it. And then draw wise, it is a 6 card deck that provides 3 draw. Not quite, because voluntary control is a chain, so they don't actually count. I guess it's a 4 card deck, and it's also at least draw neutral. Like, this is a fun one, but I don't think anything super crazy. Though, to be fair, if you do go for purely like a support Nausea, like for example something that I usually end up using, where we have draw 3, where we have 2 AP, draw 1, draw 1, draw 1, draw 1, combined with like a basic card. So this one's just gone, this one's just gone, this one just stays in hand, and this one stays in hand as well. The thing you could complain about as well, team-wide buffs, right? What partner? Well, if you want to use the Haru deck we just used, then the partner you want to go for is Priscilla. But if you're fighting in content where you're type effective anyway, Haru's best partner is still Asteria. But after that, and it's actually rather close, it's going to be Scarlet. So if you have a Scarlet, feel free to use her on Haru. Other options that you could also end up using is something like a Ritoshka, and then a Lillian, and then I guess a Douglas. But yeah, that pretty much be those. Could I give you the code for the Nausea deck? Sure. Would it be worth buying some of the decks? Yes. I think I'm going to finish the video tomorrow, but I spent already, like I recorded the first part of it yesterday. But see, what I did was do this. Go into save data, click on data download, and I started at the very bottom. And I already made it, I think, all the way up to Nausea, and I rated every single deck, as well as also talked about the things I would change, talk about the strength, the weaknesses of some of these decks, as well as also other deck ideas that you could pursue for certain combatants and interesting interactions. Though you have to be ready. Give me a guess. How long did I talk about these save data download decks, going from Mika all the way to, well, half of Nausea? What would you think? How long was that recording? Going from Mika all the way up to Nausea? 2 hours? 2 hours easy? Well, I was able to do it in 50 minutes, but then again, there is still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I guess 11 combatants left. But yeah, I was able to do it in about 50 minutes, which means it would probably be like a 1 hour 10, 1 hour 15, 1 hour 20 type. Maybe like an hour 5 seems like a... decks become a lot more interesting or a lot more deliberate with the later characters, so it's probably going to be like a behemoth of a video, but it's going to be very informative at least, especially because it gives an insight in regards to basically building every single character in the game or any other fun decks that came to mind, but specifically also giving you idea in regards to, well, how good of a deck are these decks actually. But yeah, if I really were to also talk, like, I'm not talking about these ones, right? Like, I'm not talking about the ones you get for free, where the reason why is obviously because, well, they don't include any divine, so there's no real point going too deep about them. Why is it so hard to import the code? Because there's a space somewhere in, or you're copying words rather than just the code itself. I mean, if you, like, the only thing is you always need to start with the V and then you need to end with a weird letter. But like, I can use my own codes, right? And it just ends up working out. It might just be the way I'm sharing them. Maybe there's like a better way to do it, but yeah. Would I be able to post the Arabella deck that I think would be the absolute best to strive for? That's one of those things, right? Like, for example, there is the Great Rift deck, which is completely separate from this. And then there's a couple other different approaches as well. But I do believe that this right here would be the most solid. Am I gonna strive to try and get the 1% on Great Rift? I kinda have to, don't I? Like, I kinda have to. Like, what else am I gonna do? I mean, we need to hit 1.170,000. Hey, somebody not using a hilt. Nice. Okay, is there anything fun? Hey, Capilyric is on second. Good for him. Oh, he's using Typhara. Let's see. Yeah, it's the AoE activation, as you would expect. Obviously, also cost reduction. Treated as a common card on Observer's Pleasure is curious, but I think the reason why this one has treated as a common card is because, well, I guess part of his other deck has treated as a common card. Yeah, this one. So this Quantum Seed, whenever he gets that one, it allows him to get Observer's Pleasure into hand. I find the choice of cards interesting with Gilded Nest, Narcissism specifically here, and then, well, Severed Ties. I mean, it's a claim 9 deck, so I guess you'd had to go for a claim base. Yeah, and it's the destroy arrow. Like, this destroy arrow, it doesn't really make sense to build outside of like 4 dedicated content, because the moment there's nothing to kill, it becomes kind of useless. But the moment there is something to kill, well. Oh, he even has a lead card version, allowing him to cost reduce Scream for me. And cost reduce the Quiver reload, should everything go appropriately. I mean, it's a very, very nice supportive Typhara, right? Like Clover of the Forest, Tentacles of the Ruined Age, Morale Generation, Attack exclamation mark, with which he probably picks out. I mean, well, there's not that many attack cards in this deck, right? So either he'd pick the arrows, which I kind of doubt, or he's going to pick out, well, Hollow Verdicts. Or Scream for me. And then this one's just nice and out of the way. Applies at the very end, so you don't really care about it. I like the Gambit dual creation. I like the Gambit dual creation where when you just get the... It's the full Gamba deck. With predict which card type, and you always just predict square. And then it's the gamble when you move it to hand, in actuality double it, because it goes really well. Like these two Gamba ones, they go together really well. Yeah, and then what do we have at the top? Indeed, treated as a common card, draw 2, cost reductions, draw 1, full attack, claim, reduce cost, ionization, 3, draw 1, create and draw pile upon kill, create 4, draw attack cards of this unit for extra attack, double draw lead, draw 2 on hit, 2 0 in, because you hit enough. You don't really care about the 0 in stacks that much. Full vortex arrow, gilded nest, and then a gilded nest, so you also arrive at claim 9. AP generation on the sense fragmented is cute. And then we also probably have like an E6 Adelheid, so every single card in the deck is going to be a blessing card, which means he's always going to be a draw 2, gain 1. He's also going to have, well, bigger shields because everything's a blessing card, so he doesn't really have to worry as much about survivability. Well, I guess it's just lip service a bit, like he doesn't really need the blessing, I think. I guess he does still need it if he wants to make sure it's like on everything in the deck. And then here, I don't know, I guess this improves turn 1 a bit. Like, if you want the highest score, you gotta get scoring from the beginning, which means he might just pick up something like a Observer's Pleasure from the beginning. That's nice. Enhanced card shield amount. Well. Hey, there's a nausea. Cute. So once again, hey, we have fracture creation. And then create 3 and draw pile. Combined with fracture application, draw 2, an actual driven hunt. Draw 4, a claim 3. Wait, then this is survivor? No, so it's just here because he can. Well, I guess the survivor too, it doesn't do anything, huh? Well, and then yeah, I mean, I don't know how to feel about the fact that, well, it's the same hollow verdict every time, right? It's just the most effective because it's the only AoE application and activation hollow verdict, so it just makes sense. But yeah, it's the same epiphany, right? It's the same epiphany always. You want to draw 1 on sadistic restraint because it just provides the most value. You want to draw 2 on screen for me. You want the plus 80 because it's the most consistent. And especially because it also just, well, it chucks fracture around, which means you're just going to start gathering and stacking more and more fracture. And then, I mean, I like the fact that we have this vulnerable one here. That's cute. But also just means I guess he didn't find anything. I mean, this is nice. What I do like is the implementation of Sneering Dagger on some of these Arabellas. Like the combination of like a Sneering Dagger combined with, for example, like a Mask of Flames. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, from what I heard, the scores on like Asia are like entirely built different, right? Let's see. Yeah, we checked out your deck yesterday, unless you changed it. But yeah, I mean, tier list, well, Hilt and Arabella, it makes sense, right? Why wouldn't you use them if they give you extra score? That's like, I don't even know if this is, if you could say this is like a, well, a tier list, because you kind of have to use the 2, which is a little too much. I think they went a bit too far with the percentage bonus for using. But all right, yeah. So there's an Asian guy with 1.55, huh? E6, E6, E5. Right, Tenebria is not that important. Okay, so it's still treated as a common card. It's still the Fracture Amplification. It is still claim 3, claim 3, claim 3. You have the gain 1 APs here. You have the gain 1 APs here. You have the Predict archetype. You have the Move to Hand. You have the 0 cost upgrade card. You have the Draw Lead card. You have the Attack cards. You have the Create on the Feed cards. You have the Create Homing, Create Quiver Reload attacks. You have the 0-2 draw in. Well, it's all very the same, pretty much. It's all very much just the same. But I guess that's what you would expect it to be, huh? Makes me curious. Makes me curious if you could have some fun just using like a Orlea. Like it's not gonna be viable to get the highest score, but it just makes me curious if you could have some fun trying to use like an Orlea and then just do like big AoE fracture mega boom kinda where I mean, how would I imagine a deck like this? Obviously it would be a complete nightmare to pay for, and I don't even think you can, but the idea of it does put a smile on my face. But do I want to reset any of these? Just like, I mean, a team frag one. I do have the code somewhere, so I can just restore it. But my brain just likes the concept of, well, a deck like this where we probably, I mean, we'd probably still go with the draw 2. Here we'd probably still go with the draw 1. But then we would have the double activation, but then with the with the 2 vulnerable application, and then just have that card 4 times. Well, it would certainly be big boom. Like, it would be very much high damage in one explosion, especially if you combine it with like the multiplicative increases of an Orlea. But I don't think you get any damage for like overkilling the minions, do you? When are we gonna do Great Rift? Wednesday. Today is Saturday. So I always like to give myself a week to see if there's like anything super crazy or whatever. So maybe we might just tune in and give it a bit of a shot a week after. Oh, what's the sticker? Ah, it's this one. Okay, how does this actually work? The interrogation of Eisen of the Red Scythe. Or Eisen. She gave that scythe to Olga, you know? Farming tools in your nickname trend a little outdated. Oh, come on! It's not a farming tool, it's for reaping souls. Well, there goes my dream of having this stream monetized again. It's necessary though. How much is my life worth? I only have 5 lives. Threatened by naming the mastermind behind it all. Deal. Demand release in exchange for having over part of the stockpile. I want to go and have a deal. She's trying to figure us out. Well, once again, important for the plot. Oh. Choose the guard captain with the greatest combat prowess, or choose the administrator who managed the secret ledger. Let's calculate that shit. But maybe we shouldn't have, maybe we should have just let everyone die. Manages the secret ledger and knows the code to the vault entrance. Highly likely to know about the private vault, says it here. You chose a function. What? They sold us out? Oh no. Well, what happens if I don't do nothing? Well, I guess we were able to also just pick nothing. It's a lot of text. You like the private interviews? I wonder how. How do you farm chaos? Well, you play the seasonal chaos. Oh, that's the chainsaw. But yeah, no. Usually you play the seasonal chaos and you just draw yourself a planet of appropriate difficulty. The higher the difficulty, the less you technically need to play sortie to make a perfect deck. Or you might just not set out to make a perfect deck from the very beginning. The snake sword. Well, I know nothing. Oh no. Again, very important. Very important. It's mind roams your silver blood weird mode where you whip the units. No, not even fucking close. Not even close. Don't you dare. Don't you dare bring up the fucking pit of ultimate despair and silver and blood. Hell no. Hell fucking no. Ain't no way. No. That's vile. You, how dare you? No. Well, we are certainly dead. Discover Arabella's desire. No. Get me out of here. It's alright. It's alright. That Eisen bastard. So, I actually made more progress than I thought we would in about this lot of a shorter time than what we took yesterday to try and build a deck. So yeah, we did manage to at least get a well triple divine on sadistic restraint. We also did well we found the Haru deck on the floor, right? Um Sasuke Aizen, wait. Doesn't it also remind me of where did I hear that name? Was it Bleach? No, maybe I don't know, but I heard about somebody unlocking some Bankai or something in like some Thousand Blood War and it was super good or something. I don't know, not too deep into it. But yeah. Exactly. A good stream, good day, good things. Interesting stuff happening with the E7 collab. We might actually try and see if we can have some fun just trying to check out the game for funsies. What do you think about that idea when they release the characters over there that we just, well, I guess start an account from the beginning and see how long it takes us to just unlock all of them? All right. Yeah. Yes. Uh-huh. Wait, let me find that again, right? I mean, it'd be kind of crazy if they actually do decide on uh if they actually do decide on also bringing us the epic 7 characters. I'd be surprised, that's for sure. But yeah, let me just find that one image. Smilegate headquarters, that's where we belong somehow. Nah, maybe not. Maybe not really. So that's this one. Well, it's cute that Renoa made it on there, nah? But yeah, it could definitely be interesting to see if we can even manage to get all 3 of them whenever that releases. I would assume it's gonna be like maybe 2nd or 3rd week of September. Because before that they're releasing 2 other characters. But wait, it is what it is. It is what it is. We're gonna figure things out. I appreciate you for tuning in, and yeah, we see each other tomorrow with, I don't know, something that comes to my mind, or maybe not. You'll have to see. Yeah. All right. Bye bye.